She's going gravel. Look at that dirt fly. She's going gravel. I got a speck in my eye. She's gone gravel. A new kind of fun. She's gone gravel. Like when we were young. Hello and welcome. First, let me apologize for subjecting you to what I laughingly call my singing voice. With that out of the way, this video is going to show you how I took my Hyper SpinFit and turned it from a commuter bike into a gravel bike. And at the end, there's a link to a playlist showing how I turned it from a hybrid into a commuter. The first step was to remove the existing handlebar and stem and replace it with another. What I used was a leftover Evo stem and a set of drop bars from some old 10-speed that I bought years ago for parts. To satisfy my own curiosity, I took an old Leers combination shifter that I had kicking around and I tried that on. Well, as it turns out, that combo shifter doesn't have a long enough pull to activate the linear pull brakes on the bike. Not a surprise. Having anticipated that this would be the case, I bought a set of Tektro RL520 brake levers beforehand. I got this particular model because it is designed to be used with drop bars and linear pull brakes. It's got enough of a travel to activate the brake levers because, stopping is good. I also wanted to make sure that the new setup with the old Sram X4 shifter would work as well, and as you can see here, it does, and the brake works, so all is good out back. And here is the finished product. I think this is a really nifty looking bike. I may be biased, but I like the frame design on these SpinFits, and with the addition of the drop bars and the variegated red bar tape, I think this is pretty spiffy. After a little bit of finagling, I did end up with a pretty comfortable riding position on the bike, so that worked out well too. I have to admit, this is the first time I've gone from a flat bar to a drop bar, and I was a little skeptical. But hey, it worked, so all is good. Now the new cockpit consists of a 380mm wide BNVB, I have no idea what that stands for, aluminum compact drop handlebar, along with Tektro RL520 brake levers and the same Sram X4 8-speed trigger shifter that I used before. It's mounted really close to the stem, but the way I looked at it is that flat bars are flat bars, and where that is located is a flat portion of a bar, so it should work, and as a matter of fact it does. The rolling stock still consists of the vintage 1985 Mavic wheels, and man, those things are as smooth as silk. I added to them a set of Kenda Kwick 700 by 30mm tires. They've got a moderately aggressive tread, and the sidewalls are what Kenda calls mocha. To me, they kind of look like tan walls that could use a scrubbing, but I was looking for this kind of a tire, and these fit the bill. The drivetrain still consists of a Sunrace 13 to 34 tooth mega range freewheel, and it's motivated by an IXF Holotech style crankset with a 34 tooth chainring. The bike is still rocking its old, aesthetically impaired WTB saddle. Now, although the saddle looks a little bit beat up and it's got some Gorilla Tape on it, it is very comfy on the hindmost, so I'm keeping it for the time being. Now that we've had a look at the bike, let's go for a ride. We'll do a little bit of pavement, because it is, after all, an all-purpose bike, and then some gravel on a dirt road, and then a little bit on, well, you'll know it when you see it. A one-way road out in the woods. Let's see where it goes. I see the road down there, so let's go this way. Yep, there we go. I can only imagine that that little loop is for the snowmobile crowd. Here we are in low gear. It's not going to get any easier than this. That wasn't horrible. All right, this is more like it. I guess that's the thing about riding bikes, whether you're on-road, off-road, or gravel. If you want to ride the descents, you got to do the climbs. No two ways around it. Speaking of descents, riding downhill on this dirt road kind of reminds me of my childhood. When I was about 10 or 11, we lived at the top of a very tall hill, and it was about halfway down the road from either end, and every bike back then was a gravel bike because the road was a dirt road. And we weren't content to coast either. We would stand on those pedals and go hell-bent for leather. No pads, no helmets. Nothing but a coaster brake. Ah, yeah, those were the days. Just to point it out, shifting the flat bar shifter on these drop bars is no more problematic than shifting the shifters on my 83 Schwinn, which are mounted on the stem. No, excuse me. 88 Schwinn has a stem-mounted shifters. The 83 has a down-tube shifters, which are even slightly more problematic.
This works out pretty good. So I thought the flat bar shifter was going to be an interim measure while I hunted around for something better, like maybe a thumbing. But I think I'll keep it. It's working just fine.
If you want to know more about the SpinFit, there's a link below to the playlist, as well as a link to another video I think you'll like. And thanks for watching, I do appreciate that. And remember, it's all about the fun. Bye.